At the moment, we are studying conjunction. So what is in question here? We would give prediction for the houses involved in conjunction. That if I want to say about profession, tell me about the profession of this native. Can I say that he could be a creative person? How? Because the fifth is creative talents, right? So this is an imaginary chart. We don't have a person here with us who we are talking about. We can say that the profession has influence of Venus, because there's no planet looking at the 10th house. There's no planet sitting in the 10th house. So then what happens? One is that the quality of the sign would be seen in the person's professional life. So this is a sign co-owned by Rahu. In the profession, the person is kind of a little manipulative in the way he is operating professionally. It is the network also becomes important as far as profession is concerned, because the 11th sign speaks about it. The more he keeps the illusion around his profession, that I am doing well, I have bigger clients, I have this, I have that, or just don't speak about it and take a flashy office or do stuff like that, the business would do all right. The moment he gives details about his profession to people, or kind of explains clearly what he does, you would see a downfall here. Why? Because of the sign element, which is a Rahu ruled sign, and the nature of this sign also. So you see, this is the opposite sign of the Leo sign. Leo sign is the sign of fame. It is a royal sign. It is a sign of fame. And when we say the sign opposite has the opposite nature, we can say this is a sign of defame. Such natives should not give exact details about the profession to people.
Right.
Let the people be in some kind of guess about what this person is doing. There is some manipulation that the person is doing in his business. That is also true. Unless there's benefic influence. So we are taking step by step. But if you see Jupiter's aspect here, then it kind of gets better. Yeah. Or if Venus is sitting here in aspecting this, being the Lagna Lord, or Venus sits here, then this improves immensely. But till that time, we are reading a blank house. We have to use the qualities. So in the nature of profession, you see these things. And this is what I've told you is kind of a remedy, because this is what could happen. The more he tells honestly about his profession, his profession would kind of go down. But the profession is influenced by Venus. He could be in some creative work. There's glamour also involved in this work. He could get into creative work. He could become an artist, because the Lagna Lord has come here in the 5th house. The 9th Lord has come here in the 5th house, the house of creativity, creative talents. Venus is naturally the Lord of creative talents, the artistic talents. And Saturn is conjunct here. So Saturn has exchanged energies with Venus. But how the person is himself,
he would have more like Saturn than more like Saturn than like Venus.
More like Saturn. The person himself is, you see, this is the Lagna Lord is Venus. But it is not Venus anymore. It has Saturn in it completely. You see the exchange of energies here. This is where the problem is, that you are finding Venus kind of qualities in the person, but you wouldn't find.
Right.
Because they are already lost.
Right.
They are lost to whom? They are lost to the father. The father would be more of Venus kind, either very handsome or smart or dashing, or brand conscious, or likes to live in luxury. Although intelligent also, because the planet is going 5th in the house of learning. The father would be learned also. And this is also improved because of Lagna Lord being conjunct with this planet. So Lagna Lord has already improved this planet, and this was already a good planet, the 9th Lord. But the Lagna Lord being the best planet and the conjunction, or this kind of conjunction, has given a Raj Yoga also to this person. So father is also doing well in his life. Native is also doing well in life, and both are very learned. But if you are thinking that person is more like Venus, so that is not so. But the father is kind of has the Venusian nature. Now, if we say, let's say, this is how we'll take up conjunction, and this is how we'll try and make sure that we learn how conjunction works. Because there's no text, there's no study material available for conjunctions. I don't know if you found some. I have not been able to find any. Give me 5 predictions looking at the conjunction. You've understood the rule, right?
Yeah, the rule I understood, yes.
So we'll try and practice and make sure that we are able to make predictions out of it.
So the native's mother would have kind of a Mars nature, so more.
No. Mars has lost itself to Venus, you see. So native's mother is either very beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Venus, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Or she could be brand conscious.
Right.
Or luxury conscious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I messed it up. Stupid mistake. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The younger brother or the younger sibling is kind of aggressive in nature.
Right.
Or could be learned also.
Right.
Yeah,
and the native's father would also have more a Venus nature.
So father may have done traveling jobs.
Yeah.
They would have been traveling in father's life. Person could be in administrative or Mars related professions. Can the person teach? Can teach or consult?
Right.
Consulting related work because of ninth.
Okay.
Consulting, guiding kind of profession could be.
Okay.
Profession would have some element of giving guidance or consultation or consulting. Or training. Training could be a part of the profession. Like there are people working in software companies as a trainer, right?
Yeah.
Training would become somewhere a part of this native's profession.
I suppose he would take care of his home environment to make it like attractive, like more like beautiful, like
that would be there because both these planets are influencing the fourth house. But that is not the rule of the conjunction, you see. That was the rule of the house. You'll have to use it for prediction. That is okay. So Venus and Mars both are influencing the fourth house.
Yeah.
So that would be there. So the person could have a lot of properties also.
Yeah.
Because the Lord of the fourth house is aspecting it.
Yeah.
However, there would be some struggles also there because the third Lord is also conjunct. So person would have to show some courage also in that field.
Right.
So because of Venus, there could be property related problems. So there's two ways of looking at it. One is that what are we predicting? And one is how we are solving problems in conjunction. At this moment, we are trying to predict. Then we'll come to problem solving also.
Okay.
So for the things related, because there's the conjunction for the things related to the third house and the 10th house, you will have to look at Mars, and the other way around for the 9th and for the 9th and the 4th, you'll have to look at Venus.
Jupiter in the so Moon in Jupiter in the and Moon in the 10th and Rahu and Saturn in the 12th.
How is the native? Can we say that the native is spiritual in nature? Why? Mercury is not a planet of spirituality. Mercury is a businessman. He is only interested in give and take.
Okay.
We can say so because it is conjunct with the 12th Lord.
Right.
The native is spiritual, could be thrift. Spending money on the right things though, because the planet of expenditure is conjunct with the Lagna Lord who is improving that quality.
Okay.
You'll have to verify it also, no? If we are predicting right or wrong.
Yeah, I suppose so because the 12th house is also
don't look at the house. Tell me about by your life experience.
Okay. Yeah, no, but maybe sometimes I spend on things which afterward you think no, I shouldn't have spent on those things, but it's always afterward. But also from the chart you say because the 12th house is because Rahu is there, is afflicted.
We'll come to that also.
And the sun is also malefic.
So can you by your being honest and candid, can you by your life experiences, can you tell me that are you a spiritual person?
I've become a spiritual person like somewhere mid-30s. It started to change.
Mercury is not a planet of faith and he is the Lagna Lord. Had this been Mercury alone, then you wouldn't have been a faith believer kind of a person because Mercury rules houses opposite to Jupiter. Mercury kind of makes the person argue about things. and
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
asking questions.
Yeah.
For a Jupiter kind of teaching is that do charity and you would get in return in multiples in various kinds and means. Mercury would say, I don't understand this. You tell me how much I will get and when will I get. So that is how Mercury is. Can we say that profession has been unstable?
Yeah, from my personal experience, yes, but
because the lord of profession here is Mercury.
Yeah.
Conjunct with whom? The planet of loss, the 12th lord. So there is no great interest for profession, because this is, although the 11th lord sits here and rules it, it is not a bad placement to have this placement where you have 11th lord in the 10th house. Because whatever you get, whatever you do, you get gains. Correct. But there is hardly that the native could do because of this conjunction here. Because the 12th lord, the planet of letting go, the planet of detachment, the planet of letting go, the loss, is conjunct with the planet ruling the 10th house. Although the native could do works related to networking, could work through his social circle. Moon gives businesses or work related to food, travel, counseling, also related to chemicals also. But there's the 11th house element also here, works related to NGOs, clubs, or networking kind of works that this native could do. Moon could give healing by counseling kind of work also, make a person a psychiatrist. And because we know that there is no influence here on Moon, so these are the professions that this native could do. But the sustainer of this house is this planet.
You mean Mercury? Yes.
The Lord.
Yeah.
The house is a promise. Lord is the sustainer. So sustainer is kind of losing here, being conjunct
with Sun
by the 12th Lord.
12th Lord, yeah.
Correct? That is one thing. Second problem here that we see is that Moon is enemy to Mercury. The only enemy Mercury has is Moon, and kind of spoiling this house. There is no good influence on this house for this house to get protected. Who's protecting this house? Tell me.
No, I don't see it. I don't see any protection either.
Either a friend would protect or the Lord will protect. You don't see any aspect here, and you see an enemy here also. So that means there's no protection here. Now, for this kind of native to do something good professionally, he'll have to satisfy two planets. One is this planet.
Yes.
Who is kind of controlling the Lord of the 10th house. And it is controlling the Lagna Lord also. So Lagna Lord has given its goodness to Sun. So I don't know how many Antardashas of Sun you would have gone through. Sun's Antardasha in any of the Mahadashas would have given you good results. In fact, Mercury's Antardasha, this is a rule for Antardasha only. Mercury's Antardasha wouldn't have been so great in different times. Like you would have been expecting that Mercury would do good for me, but it wouldn't do so good. It will be bland, or it will behave as neutral only, or painfully neutral, because it has lost its goodness to Sun and it has improved Sun. So Sun's Antardasha would have been better. Would have given you some professional hope also. And physically also you would have improved, and your knowledge would have also improved in the Antardasha of Sun. In the Antardasha of Mercury, we could not say something of that kind. But in the Antardasha of Mercury, whenever it came in your life, it is, although it is running now also, but with other planets, like before this, you went through Saturn's period, and when probably you went through Mercury's period in Saturn, is probably the period when things changed in your life, or there were some changes, or there were some losses, or probably some isolation. You were kind of cut off probably from the world, or some losses that you probably, or you would have become spiritual in that period, or started to become spiritual from there. Because in the Antardasha, the planet behaves like the planet it is conjunct with, and takes the role of that planet. In the Antardasha, not Mahadasha. In Antardasha, it behaves like the planet it is conjunct with, or takes the role, whatever role that the other planet has, he takes that role. What else? The family.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. definitely. Yeah, struggle. Yeah.
And you see aggression also there,
Uh-huh.
a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Not so much of Venus,
Yeah.
but you see Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Although Venus is protecting back its house,
Uh-huh.
so which means so there is a family to fall back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there would always be the family.
Yeah.
And there would always be support of the family also. But it is not, you cannot kind of relate it to the nature of Venus,
No. No. Yeah.
the family
Yeah.
you were born in.
Yeah. Yeah.
The planet ruling your father is Venus. It is conjunct with Mars. Now, Mars being the lord of the eighth house. So, because you know the things related to the eighth house, so it could give in, it could lead the father into some kind of indulgence also. Could make him use alcohol or something of that kind.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Because it
Absolutely.
is the eighth lord, it is conjunct with the ninth lord, is conjunct with the eighth lord. So now you see the nature of the eighth lord. Although he could be very deep and the father could be secretive also
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
in nature,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
or could be somebody who could do deep research, or may have some kind of strange knowledge or some kind of strange wisdom.
Yeah. 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 It's like yeah. So a special interest, like
The younger sibling is Mars
yeah.
conjunct with Venus, Lord of ninth and second. So here, although because it has gone to the eighth house, so as a planetary placement, it is not that great a placement. As a house placement, it is not that great a placement, because eighth house we know is kind of a pit. So
Yeah.
it is not that great kind of a placement. But still, can we say that the younger sibling is beautiful or luxury conscious?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I have two younger siblings, so yeah. Yeah. Both. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Although we can see both of them from here, from this house.
Yeah.
We take both the younger siblings, that is all right. If we go in detail, we'll have to look at the Drekana or the D3 chart, and then
Okay.
we see the third from the third as the youngest one. So probably
Right.
fifth house in the D3 chart would tell about the third sibling,
Right. Right.
or the second sibling. The first
Yeah.
sibling would be seen from the third house of the D3 chart also, because that is the
Okay.
house we read in detail about this sibling. But here, an overview in your chart, can we say that your younger siblings have this nature of Venus in them?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
In the way they dress, in the
Yeah.
way they could have creative talents also.
Yeah.
They could have artistic talents also. They could have music related talents also, probably singing or playing some instrument.
My youngest sibling, my sister writes poetry, but not
Oh yeah.
music. Not.
So
Yeah.
that's because of Venus. So the artistic talent is because of Venus, or the creative talent that we
Yeah.
think about is
Yeah.
because of Venus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other prediction you would want to make by yourself, looking at Mars, Venus, or Sun, Mercury? You remember I told you that if you could go abroad, you could do well professionally.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Did you get the answer? Why did I say that?
No. Wait, I don't see. I don't see it.
No, that is because the 10th lord is conjunct with the 12th lord, the 12th house of foreign land.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This planet would get satisfied.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you could have traveling in your job, it will satisfy Moon.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or this could tell you that you could work near water bodies also. Where there's water, you could go and work there also.
Okay.
If you can't become a psychologist, if you can't become a life coach kind of a person, if you can't become a psychotherapist, if you can't give psychological counseling to people, you could open food business also. You could get into traveling work also. The fourth lord goes to the house of gains, aspects the third, saves your relationship with your younger siblings, looking at your fifth house, giving you creative talents, Jupiter being a benefic planet, wherever it aspects blesses the house. This is the house of hobbies also and house of skill also. So has improved this house. That means you have skill and you have some talent related to the third house. It could be writing. It could be all the things that there could be different hobbies, different skill, the makes you kind of courageous also in a good way.
Yeah.
That you
Okay.
do not you're not afraid of kind of situations so much. Should be like that. I don't know how it is. Looks at your seventh house also of your public image. Can we say that your public image is better than the actual person you are?
I really can't. I really
How do
don't know.
people perceive you?
Uh,
As a good person?
it's very. It depends on the environment. It's very
No, no.
different.
So you would know this by yourself that people see you as a good person, as a kind, good person, much more than you actually are. And I'm not saying that you are not. I
yeah.
am only saying that you're perceived as a better person than you actually are.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
people see you as a better person than you actually are.
But I don't have this experience of being like really very popular
Not
or
about
very.
being popular, but it is about being good.
Yeah. Okay.
And people see you as a spiritual person also. You see the sign here.
Okay.
And the aspect of Jupiter is improving this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is blessing, although it is blessing your relationship also. And you've not told me about if you've had relationships.
Only one, but it was a bit of a disturbed relationship.
For
was,
how long you had this relationship?
Only a couple of months, but I discovered I was a psychopathic person. So, and that was what turned me to the spiritual path.
Okay. But somehow you see, although Jupiter is not a functional benefic planet, it is kind of a neutral planet for this chart. As a rule that we know that benefics becoming lord or lords of Kendras loses their beneficence. Malefics becoming lords or lord of Kendras loses their maleficence. So what does the rule say? The rule does not say that malefic becomes good or benefic becomes bad.
No.
The rule says that the benefics lose their beneficence.
So become neutral, actually.
Becomes useless.
Useless.
Or neutral.
Yeah.
So a benefic planet losing its beneficence is a bad thing to have.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And it is good to have malefics losing their maleficence.
Yeah.
And because of this,